Have you ever been to a Costco and have you noticed that Costco doesn't accept American Express cards? Therefore, let's go on a journey explaining why Costco prefers Visa over American Express. The prestigious and reliable company that is American Express was created back in the 1850s by Henry Wells, Williams G. Fargo, and John Warren Butterfield. And a few years later, Henry Wells and Williams G. Fargo went on to create the famous Wells Fargo and Company. But you see, the funny thing is that American Express was started as an express mail business in Buffalo, New York, while Wells and Fargo had a different idea in mind, which was heading out west to California. And this was perfect timing because of the California Gold Rush, in which California was in need of banking and express mailing services. But American Express was not interested in serving California at the time. In 1857, American Express started its expansion in the area of financial services by launching a money order business to compete with the United States Post Office money order service. So in 1891, a few decades later, American Express created a form of hard pre-printed fixed amount checks, and this would help travelers feel a bit more secure with their money whilst traveling. During World War I, these traveler checks established American Express as a truly international company. That's why the British government made American Express its official agent at the beginning of World War I, and by the end of the war, they were delivering up to 150 tons of letters, money, and relief parcels per day to British prisoners of war. Thereby, you see, this was a very brilliant way American Express expanded its services worldwide and let many more customers be able to use and start building a relationship, which increased their overall value as a company. Now let's jump to the 1950s, and this was when American Express started to introduce credit cards, which would give their customers a bit more flexibility over the traveler check. And now we're getting into what Amex is really known for, and that's their super fancy and cool looking credit cards. And this was when one of the all-time great investors, which is Warren Buffett, noticed American Express and the great services that they were offering, and he decided to pull the trigger and buy American Express, because even though this was 1964, Warren Buffett already saw the writing on the wall, and he was ready to benefit and recognize the dominance this company would have in the coming decades. And oh boy, was he right. At the moment, Buffett still owns a whopping 151.6 million shares, valued at $29 billion, and this is why many experts call him one of the best investors of all time, because he knew which stocks to buy and companies to buy at the right time, making him one of the wealthiest persons alive. Shortly after American Express was bought by Warren Buffett, American Express decided to roll out a business credit card known as the corporate card. And what this did was it provided businesses with easy expense management and exemplary service to help you do business more efficiently and less complicated. A few years later, they would expand and release the famous green card, which was the first charge card, and in 1975, they released an ad that was advertising the new green card and the traveler's check with the famous "Don't leave home without it" slogan. So now let's jump to 2004, and this was when American Express and Costco made an exclusive deal which lasted 12 years. You see, Costco and American Express decided to unite and create a membership card and a payment credit card like the Citi Costco credit card, which we currently have in 2022. But you see, before we can fully understand why Costco ditched American Express and decided to go Visa, we have to talk about what made Visa into such a dominant worldwide financial business. Therefore, stick with me all the way to the end so we can get back to this question. The Visa Financial Company, and not the Visa which you would use to travel, was formed in Fresno, California, and this is the birthplace of Derek Carr. So if you watch football, so NFL specifically, he is the quarterback of the Las Vegas Raiders. But it's funny fact. But you see, Visa wasn't always called Visa, and back in 1958, it was formerly known as Bank AmeriCard, and since the birth of this company, it has always been known for its credit cards and debit card services, which they have offered for the past 60 years. The crazy thing is that Bank of America decided to conduct an experiment and send 65,000 unsolicited Bank of America card offers. And you see, this was when the city of Fresno had about 250,000 people, and a few months later they decided to do the same with San Francisco, Sacramento, and LA. And by the end of the year, there was about 2 million Bank of America card mail offers in the state of California, which merchants took note, and the Bank of America card was accepted at 20,000 different merchants statewide. But you see, this kind of backfired, and it was costing Bank of America $20 million in overhead expenses to keep the card going. And not to mention that there were a ton of fraud claims, and that's why in 1961, Bank of America decided to rethink the Bank of America card and fix the problems, and this was when the card became profitable and made the card expand out of California to compete with MasterCard, which is now known as MasterCard. A decade later, in 1975, was when the first debit card was released, and surprisingly, a year later, Bank of America card was morphed into what we now know as Visa. The name Visa was chosen because D. Hock believed that the name Visa was easy to say in any language, and D. Hock was the founder and CEO of Visa back in the 1970s. That's why the blue, white, and gold flag was used in the Visa logo from the beginning, because it symbolized the colors of every international country. It's fascinating to see how the Visa logo went from Bank of America card to the Visa logo, and they kept changing the design of the logo once every 10 years or so. But now you're probably wondering how Visa makes its profits and charges its fees, and this would be because of the VisaNet, the network that they place in order to allow the transfers of payments between merchants and consumers. And this was the main reason why Costco decided to part ways with American Express. You see, American Express charges a higher percentage in fees, and this was a way of Costco saving more money on every single transaction a Costco member made. Therefore, you see, according to Bankrate.com, Visa and MasterCard tend to charge merchants processing fees between 1.5% and 2.5% to accept their credit cards, whereas American Express charges 2.5% to 3.5%. Costco also accepts MasterCard. Oh wait, I meant MasterCard, but this card is only accepted online at Costco.com. And with there being 111.6 million Costco members nationwide, the logical decision for Costco to make would be to partner up with Visa and ditch American Express in order to save some money. You see, a 1% in difference doesn't seem like a lot, but when you have 111.6 million members nationwide, that adds up to a lot of money at the end of the year. So let me know down in the comments below if you ever knew that Costco and American Express had a partnership. So with that being said, my name is Jair de la Fuente, and if you enjoy this type of content, remember to like and subscribe to this channel. So hope you have a good one, and bye!